everybody, it's Sarah and welcome to day 21 of Bookmas. And since I have now already done my videos for all the DNF'd series on my bookshelves and all the finished series on my bookshelves, I thought that it's time to finally do the video of all the unfinished series on my bookshelves. The two videos I have just mentioned will be linked down below as well as up there, and also the playlist for my Bookmas videos, whether you're just interested in seeing what other videos I've done so far or you have just missed some of them, will also be linked down below and up there. And now let's get into the video, because while I don't have as many series to talk about as I did with my finished series, I do have quite a few to talk about. The series I'm going to show you in this video are either series that I am caught up on, so that all the books haven't been published yet, but I have caught up to the latest of the published books. According to my reading spreadsheet, that should be 17 series. And the other possibility is that these series are series where I'm still in the middle of them. Sometimes not all the books have been published yet, but I haven't read up to the latest published book, or they are series that have been fully published, but I haven't fully read them yet. And I should have a total of 14 of those series. But regardless of how many unfinished series I have on my bookshelves, I will first show you series where I haven't read any of the books in those series this year, and then I'm going to show you the series that I have either started this year or that I just have read books this year, whether that be caught up or just like, you know, read books in them. But anyway, let's get started, and let's get started with series that I am caught up on but that just haven't had books published in quite a few years. Let's put it like that. The first series is A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin. I have read all 5 books that have been currently published. Who knows when we're gonna get Winds of Winter? Honestly, it's like up in the stars at this point. So I have read the full 5 books, as I have said, but I have not read any of the other books that were published in this world. Like, I think Of Fire and Blood is one, and then The Hedge Knight, is that the name of the other one? Anyway, haven't read any other books. Then the next contender for a series where it's like up in the stars when the next book is gonna be published is of course The Kingkiller Chronicles by Patrick Rothfuss. I have read both books that are out so far, and I have also read the novella A Slow Regard of Silent Things, but I don't have it here right now because I lent it to Hannah. Moving on with some Brandon Sanderson, the series where we're currently waiting for the longest for the next book is the Wax and Wayne series, which is the second era of Mistborn. I have read all 3 books that are out published so far, and we just recently got the notice that there's probably gonna be a 2023 release for the last book in this series. And then also by Brandon Sanderson, I am also caught up on the Skyward series, which is gonna be 4 books. The next book is gonna come out in 2021, probably sometime in autumn, and I think this is called the Skyward series. I'm not sure though. Claim the Stars. No? It's just, I don't know what this series is called. A series that I just claim is a series because Goodreads tells me it is The Good Luck Girls by Charlotte Nicole Davis. Although like a sequel hasn't been announced or anything to this book, so who knows? I'm just gonna put it in here. And then the last series I'm caught up on that I have not read any books in this year is the Girls of Paper and Fire series by Natasha Ngan. I think we're gonna get the sequel in 2021, or the last book in this trilogy in 2021. Not 100% sure though. Then as for series that I'm still in the middle of but that I haven't continued on with in 2020, the first of those is, I think this is called the Iskari Chronicles or the Iskari Trilogy by Kristen Ciccarelli. I have so far only read book 1. Then I have the Eon and Iona duology by Alison Goodman. I of course have also in this series only read 1 book since it's only a duology and I'm not finished yet. Duh. I have also only read the first book in the, I think this is the Origin series, I think it's gonna be a trilogy, but the first book is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I do still intend to finish this series, otherwise it wouldn't be in this video, but I don't know when, gotta be honest. Then I also have only read the first book in the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. I do intend to probably reread the first book, the 5th season, in 2021 and then hopefully finish the series, since I have very much enjoyed the Dreamblood duology by N.K. Jemisin as well. Another just read the first book is the Shadowfell trilogy by Juliet Marilee. I have read this so long ago I cannot even remember what it was about, but I still want to finish it because I love Juliet Marilee. And then the last just read the first book we have is The Trials of Apollo by Rick Riordan. I do intend to finish this series in 2021 because I am currently rereading Percy Jackson and the Olympians, and then I want to reread The Heroes of Olympus, and then I want to continue on and finish this series. 2 more series left that I'm still in the middle of and that I haven't continued on with in 2020. The first of those is The Inheritance Cycle by Christopher Paolini. I still have only read the first 2 books in the series. And then the last of those series is the Books of Pelennor series by Alison Croghan. I have also only read the first 2 books, although I do own the last 2. So this series, I really don't have any excuse why I still have only read the first 2. Once again, I forgot about a series, so another series that I didn't start this year, didn't continue on with this year, but still intend to finish is the Wrath and the Dawn duology by Renee Ahdieh. So yeah, forgot about that. And also, it's so much easier to like gather all the series that I have not finished than it was to gather all the series that I have finished, because like I really did a great job finishing series in 2020, and I have at this point so many more finished series on my shelves than like unfinished series, which I am low-key, high-key really proud of. Also the fact that over half of the series that aren't finished on my shelves are actually series that I can't continue on with because I'm caught up with them. But now, anyways, let's start with the series that I did continue on with, start in 2020. And let's just start with some series that I am caught up on, but that's because the first book was a book that was only published in 2020. The first series I have is The Last Hours by Cassandra Clare, which is her 4th series in the Shadowhunters world, I think, or 5th, depending on how you count them. And yeah, obviously Chain of Gold only was published in 2020, and we're gonna get book 2 soonish, I think. Then I have The Drowning Empire by Andrea Stewart, and only the first book, The Boneshard Daughter, was published so far, and I did only recently read this actually. Next I have the Between Earth and Sky series by Rebecca Roanhorse, with the first book, Black Sun, being published only in September, I think, or October. One or the other, I'm not sure. And then the last series I am caught up with, but I've also only read 1 book because only the first book was published in 2020, is the Skullman series by Naomi Novik with A Deadly Education. Moving on to some series that I'm caught up on, where I've already read 2 books in the series because most of them were first published in 2019, with the exception of this first series, which is The Chronicles of the Bitch Queen by K.S. Veloso, which had the first book published in January, I think, and the second book in September, and we're getting the third in May or something, I think. I'm not sure, but yeah, so that's the first one. Then I have the Gilded Wolf series by Roshani Chokshi, with The Gilded Wolves and the Silvered Serpents, both books that I really enjoy and both books that are absolutely gorgeous, like the covers are absolutely gorgeous. Then I have The Crown of Feathers duology by Nikki Pau Preto, and I'm so excited for the 3rd book in 2021. I also have the Eldest Curses series by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu. I am not technically caught up on this series because I'm still currently reading The Lost Book of the White, which is book 2, but I'll be finished in a few days, so I'm gonna count it. Next I have the Camelot Rising series by Kirsten White, which is an Arthurian retelling, and the 3rd book is also gonna be published in 2021. And then I also have the Cursebreaker series by Bridget Camera, with the last book being published in January actually, so I'm gonna put this on my finished series list quite soon. And also I'm gonna try to not make it glare, but the spines of the paperbacks are so gorgeous. It's like one of the few paperbacks where I go through a lot of pain to not break the spines because they're just so pretty. I'm also now caught up with The Band series by Nicholas Ames. I have started and am caught up with this within 2020, so I hadn't read any of the other books before 2020, but also Bloody Rose wasn't published in 2020. I don't think. I think it was published in 2018. Anyway, I am now caught up with it. That's the point of this video. And I don't know how many books exactly there's gonna be in this series. Another series where I'm not exactly sure how many books there's gonna be, but I've read all of the 7 that are out so far, is the Invisible Library series by Genevieve Cogman. I feel like I'm slowly moving down in the frame. But anyway, the last of the series that I have read books in 2020 and that I'm also caught up with is the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson, with all 4 books that are out so far. The first one I lent to Hannah so far. I mean, I didn't lend it to her, I pushed it on her. But yeah, there's gonna be 10 books in the series, and so far I've read all of them, obviously. Also, these are so heavy, like they're insanely heavy. I could kill someone with this. And lastly, I have 5 series that I'm not caught up with, but that I have continued on with within 2020. The first of those is the Anita Blake Vampire Hunter series by Laurel K. Hamilton. There's, I think, like 27-ish, 28 books out so far. I think I've read 23 of the books, which is why I'm only holding up the first one, which is Guilty Pleasures, because like I couldn't fit it in frame anyways. Then I also continued on with the Alcatraz series by Brandon Sanderson, which is his middle grade series. I have read 3 of the books so far, and there's 5 in total, although he did announce that maybe a 6th is gonna come in 2023, I think. So I gotta like catch up with this series. I'm on a time limit now. I also sadly did not manage to finish The Wheel of Time within 2020, which of course was one of my goals. This is by Robert Jordan. I have so far read up to book 10 plus the sequel, so I have 4 books left. I was just notified that Knife of Dreams is on the way and it's probably gonna arrive tomorrow, so I'm gonna try to also finish that within 2021. And then lastly, I have 2 series that I've read the first book of in 2020 but I haven't continued on with yet. The first of those is the Books of Babel series by Josiah Bancroft, and I've only given this 2 stars, like the first book, which is Senlin Ascends, but I'm still interested to see where the series goes as a whole. And then lastly, I have the Chronicles of Ixia with the first book, Poison Study by Maria V. Snyder. And that is it. That is all the series that are sitting unfinished on my bookshelves. Some per choice, some not per choice, but in total I am quite happy because there's quite a few less series than there was last year. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, maybe think about giving me a thumbs up and also maybe subscribing. All the links to my social media are in the description box down below, so go and check those out. All the links to my book club of Queens, Witches and Valkyries, where we read 1 adult high fantasy book written by a woman per month, are also linked down below, so go and check those out as well. Also, tell me in the comments of the series that I'm not caught up on, but that I'm still in the middle of, which one, if you've read them, were your favorite series, which one should I prioritize in terms of finishing and catching up with. And with that said, I hope I'll see you soon. Bye!